Happy New Year. It is officially 2025. Date today is January 8th. It has been a while since I have done a video journal. I think I may have some that I haven't posted yet. As always, I don't know if this is going to get posted, but I wanted to do this one because I have some thoughts that I guess I need to like verbalize and get out. And if people are wondering, I'm like, why is this girl doing video journals? I don't know. I might have posted the video on why I started doing video journals. I may not have. I know I did a video probably a year ago, definitely over a year ago, because I started these video journals in 2023, I think October or September. Anyway, thanks for listening to my rants or my thoughts. Anyway, so part of the reason why I do video journals is because one of the ways to really like get things out of here, right? Because it can just feel so overloaded sometimes, is to actually like get it out of your mouth. Don't ask me the science behind that or the studies or the research, because it's not going to make it into these video notes because it's hidden somewhere in my brain and my laptop somewhere. I save a lot of things, okay? Okay, so why I am doing this video journal today, because this has really been ruminating in my mind for probably a little over 24 hours now. And I've learned that sometimes, no! Oh, heads up, I don't edit these. I think I left ice cream on my couch, you guys, from last night. Anyway. Okay, so like I said, I've had these thoughts ruminating since I read/watched something yesterday on, it was essentially what it comes down to is do I like a person, or do I just want this person to like me? And so a lot of my journey, so last year, 2024, I had realized actually how much emotionally unavailable I was, because I had wondered for the longest time, like, why do I attract people who are emotionally unavailable, right? It made me think, I must be emotionally unavailable on some sort of level. I didn't realize how many walls that I had until last year, where I started really unpacking those things, because okay, let me back up. So why does this matter to me? So last year I read this book called, I think it's called The Good Life, and it is essentially about this study on what makes for a good life. And it's this huge longevity research. I believe it was conducted by Harvard. Oh gosh, I've read so many books since then. Anyways, and so they have done this longevity study. They actually are now studying the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren of the initial set of people that they've studied. And they have compounded this study and have expanded it to other countries, to other demographics, and they've all come to the same conclusion that the definition of a good life, when people get to the end of it, is realizing all of their good, healthy, deep connections. And sometimes they don't even need to be super deep. It could be connections as little as talking to the cashier at the grocery store, right? And that's what, 3 to 5 minutes of your life. Anyway, so after I had finished reading this book, I really started taking account of the connections in my life. And Do I have good, healthy connections? Yes, I do. Oh, I should plug in my computer. So do I have good, healthy connections in my life? Yes, yes, I do. But when it comes to a partnership and creating new connections in this chapter of my life of being a single mom, trying to finalize my divorce, all of these things, right? I have learned that in the past for almost 5 years now that I have become somewhat emotionally unavailable. And I've kind of always been on some level of emotional unavailability. And sorry, I'm plugging in my computer. And so essentially, like, I've recognized that there is a gap between like where I'm at and what I want, right? And here I was, like, in the dating world, knowing that I was on some sort of level of emotional unavailability and attracting those partners, right? And going, oh, yeah, this isn't what I want. But then I had to reassess and go, okay, so in order for me to get what I want, I kind of have to start embodying and becoming what I want in a partner, right? And that's probably a whole nother video. Anyway, so why I talk about this emotional unavailability. So because I have been emotionally unavailable for a long time, and I started dating again last year. Yeah, last year, 2024, because I had gone on like a dating hiatus for probably almost 2 years, where like I got completely off of the apps. I wasn't going on any dates, like nothing. And so anyway, so I've been emotionally unavailable, like, let's just say when my separation started. And once I got back into the dating world, I have realized, how do you know when you like a person, you guys? Like, I don't know. This is something I've been working with my therapist since I got back into the dating world. Pretty much, I would say end of summer of 2024, where I'm going on these dates. I'm like, do I like this person? How do you know when you like a person? I don't know. I haven't had feelings like that, right? In a long time. And have I been in relationships since? Yes, I have. But then I started thinking, like, did I actually like these people? Anyone else out there ever feel like that sometimes? Or is it just me? Am I just a weirdo? I know I'm neurodivergent, okay? So here I was wondering for months and months and months of how do you know when you like a person? If you know the answer to that question, please drop a comment because I would love to know. Anyways, so this question was, appeared back into my universe again. I think it was yesterday, right? Because like I said, I've been ruminating, thinking about this of how do you know when you like a person or if you just want them to like you? And I go, oh my gosh, right? That second part of that question, how do you know you like a person or you just want them to like you? And holy, like, okay, first off, did I want to know the answer to that? Yes, but I really had to chew on those two questions initially of how do you know you like a person? I know I'm repeating again. How do you know you like a person or you just want them to like you? game changer, right? And so last year, one of the things that I also started working on was my people-pleasing tendencies. Hello, my name is Candace, and I am a recovering people pleaser. Still working on it. And there's a lot of childhood work, right, that goes behind that. And we could do an entire video on people pleasing and boundaries and how your childhood and the way you were raised and your core beliefs and your values. And oh my gosh, it's just 2024 was a year of deconstructing for me. And I thought that I had deconstructed a lot of things by then. No. Okay. I started deconstructing my religious beliefs like long before last year. And I actually think that video is posted on, you know, like me visiting a church for the first time in a while. Anyway, I keep on going down rabbit holes, and you guys probably have recognized if you watch these videos that I go down a lot of rabbit holes. Okay, so going back to this whole question of, do you like a person or do you just want them to like you? And, well, shit, you guys. Anyway, so then it trails into, right? You want to know the answer to that question. And here is where my brain went. So this girl, I don't even know what her handle was. I don't even know what platform I was on. I don't even know how I came about this. All I know is that the energy you put out into the universe, right, comes back to you. Anyway, so this girl goes on to say, this is how you can know, is if the universe told you that this person who you have in mind is the best that you can do, is the best that you can have, that is your answer. Which I was like, oh my gosh, right? There have been so many dates I've been on, so many partners I have taken on where I looked at them and, you know, like, I could answer that at the drop of a hat. Like, I didn't even have to think about it, right? Just all of the different partners that I've had. Is this the best person that I really could have? Is this really the best that the universe could send me? And I thought back to different chapters of my life, right? And there were certain partners where in that chapter of my life, yeah, I absolutely did believe that was the best that the universe could give me at that time. And, but if you carry those partners into my present chapter, into this present book, I can say no, absolutely not. But I am also a different person today from who I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Oh my gosh, 3 years ago, you guys. I was a hot mess, and maybe I still am. I think we all are on some sort of level. But I write future letters to myself. It's usually like a prompting of like, oh, hey, Candace, we need to write this letter to Candace of January 31st of 2041. I know it's weird. Don't, like, we could do a whole nother video on how I get those promptings, but it goes in my calendar. Let me see if I could find one. There, I don't have one today, but it goes in my calendar on my phone, and I write this future letter to myself. So for example, like if I want to write a future letter for Candace to open December 25th of this year, I go to December 25th of this year on my calendar and I write that letter to myself. And so when I open up my calendar, like that's how I know, oh, this letter is for me to open. Anyway, so I think it was before Christmas of 2024, so not that long ago, right? Like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had written a letter to myself that said, essentially it told me to look back 3 years ago on the, like, what I was doing. And I don't remember when I wrote this. Sometimes I'll write the date of like, love, Candace, and then the day that I wrote that future letter to me. And so anyway, this future letter to myself that I had read right before Christmas said, Candace, go back to this specific weekend 3 years ago. And holy hell, you guys. Was it a fun weekend? Yes, it was. Was that the current version of me? It absolutely was not. And it's funny because I talked to my therapist about this, of that weekend and everything that I did. And you guys are probably like, well, what'd you do, Candace? That's another video, right? But I told him what I did that weekend, and his face, and to give you an idea, me and my therapist have been working together for probably like 2 years now. So he knows me fairly well. And so I described to him this weekend from 3 years ago, and his face was just like, and I go, does that sound like me? And he goes, no, I would have never guessed that was you. So fascinating, right? How we as humans change, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually and internally. And this is what kind of drives us to where we're headed, right? Anyway, so I look back on this whole like, oh, do I like this person or do I just want this person to like me? And it's been an interesting exercise in my mind. I haven't been quite ready to put these words onto paper yet. I'm not sure why. So I'm not quite sure how my brain works on why we decide to put pen to paper versus like verbal to video or verbal to camera, or whatever you want to call this. But it's been really interesting the past 24 hours. I've really been reflecting, and it, like, my brain just, it feels so overloaded thinking about all this. I've kind of gone from the most recent to the furthest. So just thinking back to partners that I've had and recognizing that I think I've really only liked three of them. Yeah. And not just partners, right? Just like people that I've dated. And it blows my mind how much time I spent with certain people. Ouch. Right? There were certain guys from my past where I'm like, I spent way too much time and way too much energy on you because I thought that I had liked you, but actually I just wanted you to like me. Ew. I still haven't quite unpacked, right, the whole, how much time and energy I've put into trying to people please. I'm not gonna lie, there's one person in specific that I can think of where I'm like, damn, I actually did like you. And it makes me think, now that this awareness is there, how would I operate now? I don't know. I'm also wondering if I even should be dating. Anyway. So that's just my food for thought today. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts. Is this a more prevalent thing for women than it is for men? I mean, for me, I think I could be completely wrong, right? But in my world, in my reality, I think that it's mostly women. And I know we have so many genders now, right? But if you were raised female, I think we have a lot of beliefs that we were instilled to people please for many, many reasons that I'm not quite ready to unpack because I feel like we've already talked about a lot today. So, one of the things that's been hard with answering this question of do I like this person or do I just want them to like me is that there have been moments in my life where I feel like I should like a person, but when we put it into the context of that question of like, is this really the best that the universe has to send me? I get a little sad because then I realize like, oh, it wasn't that, right? So my phone is being blown up right now by my daughter. I pick up my kids to where I haven't seen them in a few weeks. It's a whole nother video. There's all kinds of things that I learn about myself when my kids are gone. So, where does this leave me now? I know that liking a person, right, is just like one part of the equation. Like we can talk about how, and damn, I feel like these are all things that I should have learned a long time ago that I haven't. In terms of relationships, right? One of the biggest things that I've learned is that attraction is one thing, right? So you like a person. It doesn't mean that a relationship could work with them, right? And so there has to be this mutual attraction that happens. And I think that's what's really hard. And people end up getting caught up in relationships that they have no business being in, right? Because the only qualifying factor for this relationship to occur was mutual attraction. And I think about it, I've gotten myself into too many things because there was mutual attraction, not recognizing that there was no compatibility. And this goes back to the people pleasing again, right? Because when you people please, you can easily say, oh yeah, I can make this compatible. You're like, no, that's not a good way to go about this. Anyway, I need to get some carbs in me. I have not had any carbs today. It is now 3:34. I know for you keto people, if there are keto people out there, you're like, well, I never eat carbs. We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole, okay? Have I been on a keto diet before? Yes, I have actually. It was when they were helping me diagnose with my autoimmune. So yes, I am very familiar with the keto flu. Anyway. You're like, Candace, this has nothing to do with what we've been talking about. You're right. So, last and final thoughts. I wonder now, right, how many of these partners that I've had or these dates that I've gone on have actually liked me, or they just wanted me to like them. Life is weird. Life is weird. Anyway, thanks for listening to my rantings. Hopefully I'll see you all again soon. I'll let you know. Maybe I should post the other video journals, but like I said, they get posted when they're supposed to and when I'm ready to. And follow up to like my church video. Yes, I have actually been going to church lately. Not like every single Sunday, but a lot more than I've expected to. I'll let you know how that goes. Anyway, good to see you.